Ever wondered why we act out of character in certain situations? Why we sometimes feel like we have a dark side? These questions have intrigued thinkers and seekers for ages. Among them was a man named Carl Jung. A Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, Jung devoted his life to exploring the depths of the human psyche. One of his most intriguing and influential concepts is that of the shadow self. So, what exactly is this shadow self? Picture a vast, unexplored cavern within you. It's the home of all the parts of ourselves that we choose to hide, deny, or suppress. It's where our unexpressed thoughts, repressed feelings, and hidden aspects dwell. Now, before you recoil in fear, understand this. The shadow self is not necessarily negative. It's simply a part of our unconscious mind that we are not fully aware of. Think about it like this. When you're standing in the sunlight, your body casts a shadow. That shadow is a part of you, but it's not all of you. The same is true with your shadow self. It's a part of you, but it doesn't define you. Yet, ignoring or denying this shadow can lead to problems. It's like avoiding your reflection in the mirror. You may not see yourself, but that doesn't mean you disappear. In fact, the aspects of yourself that you're avoiding may begin to manifest in unexpected and often unwanted ways. That's why Jung believed in the importance of acknowledging and understanding our shadow selves. By bringing light to these hidden parts of our psyche, we can achieve greater self-awareness and personal growth. As we delve deeper into the concept of the shadow self, remember this. It's not about eliminating or conquering our shadows. It's about understanding them, embracing them, and integrating them into our conscious selves. And as we embark on this journey, let's keep in mind the words of Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Now let's delve deeper into the concept of shadow work. What is it exactly? At its core, shadow work is an introspective process, a journey within that we embark upon to confront our hidden aspects, our darker side. It's a term coined by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who believed that our unconscious mind holds the shadows of our personality. These shadows are the parts of ourselves that we choose to ignore, suppress, or disown. It could be our fears, our insecurities, our anger, our guilt, or any other negative emotion that we shy away from. Imagine you're in a room filled with mirrors. Each mirror reflects a different aspect of you. Some reflections might be flattering, showing you at your best, radiating confidence and joy. These are the parts of yourself that you readily accept, love, and show to the world. But other mirrors might reflect something less pleasant, something that you'd rather not acknowledge. These are your shadows. Shadow work is about turning towards these uncomfortable reflections instead of away from them. It's about understanding that these shadows are as much a part of you as the parts you embrace. It's about acknowledging that these shadows, these darker aspects, are not your enemies but your allies. They hold valuable lessons about who you truly are. Why is this important, you might ask? Well, understanding our shadows is the key to personal growth and self-awareness. It's through this understanding that we can begin to heal, grow, and evolve. By acknowledging our shadows, we stop being at war with ourselves. We stop the constant tug of war between what we show to the world and what we hide. The journey of shadow work is not an easy one. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to face what we've been avoiding. But the rewards are immense. It leads to a greater sense of peace, acceptance, and love for oneself. It brings about a sense of wholeness and authenticity. It allows us to live our lives not in fear of our shadows, but in harmony with them. Embracing our shadows can lead us to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Imagine strolling through a gallery filled with mirrors, each mirror reflecting a different facet of your personality. Some reflections are familiar, beautiful, while others are strange, disconcerting. Shadow work is like taking a long, honest look into those disconcerting mirrors. It's about acknowledging and understanding the parts of ourselves that we'd rather not see, the parts we often hide from others and even from ourselves. Let's start with self-understanding. Shadow work helps us understand our motivations, fears, and desires. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see everything clearly. You can understand why you react the way you do to certain situations, why certain things trigger you, and why you have specific patterns of behavior. This self-awareness can be transformative, freeing you from the chains of unconscious reactions and giving you greater control over your actions. But the importance of shadow work extends beyond self-understanding. it can greatly improve our relationships with others. Often, the things that annoy or upset us about other people are reflections of our own shadow self. By doing shadow work, we learn to recognize and accept these parts of ourselves, which in turn helps us to be more understanding and compassionate towards others. Moreover, shadow work fosters a healthier relationship with ourselves. It helps us to accept ourselves fully, the light and the dark, the good and the bad. This acceptance breeds self-love and self-compassion, which are vital for our overall well-being and happiness. In essence, shadow work is about reclaiming the power that we have unconsciously given to our shadow self. It's about becoming the master of our own mind and emotions instead of being at their mercy. It's about finding peace within ourselves and extending that peace to our relationships with others. Shadow work allows us to reclaim the power that we have unconsciously given to our shadow self. How do we start doing shadow work? What's the process like? Well, embarking on the journey of shadow work is like setting out on an expedition into the unknown. It's an exploration of the self, a venture into the dark corners of our psyche that we often choose to ignore. The process requires honesty, introspection, and a hefty dose of courage. The first step is to acknowledge that you have a shadow self. This is the part of you that holds all your fears, insecurities, and those traits you'd rather not admit to having. You have to be willing to accept that this shadow exists and is a part of you. Once you've made that acknowledgement, the next step is to explore your shadow. This is where introspection comes in. Spend time alone in quiet contemplation. Ask yourself hard questions. Delve deep into your feelings and thoughts, and don't shy away from the uncomfortable truths you might uncover. Meditation is another powerful tool in shadow work. It allows you to quiet your mind and focus inward, tuning into your innermost thoughts and feelings. Therapy can also be incredibly beneficial. A skilled therapist can guide you through the process, helping you navigate your emotions and providing a safe space for you to confront your shadow. But remember, shadow work is not about getting rid of your shadow. It's about understanding it, accepting it, and learning to integrate it into your conscious self. It's about taking those parts of you that are hidden in the shadows and bringing them into the light. So don't be discouraged if your shadow work journey seems difficult or intimidating. It's a process, and like any process, it takes time. Remember, shadow work is a journey, not a destination. It's about understanding ourselves better, one step at a time. So, what happens when we start embracing our shadows? What changes can we expect in our lives? Well, just as a seed hidden in the darkness of the soil eventually grows into a beautiful flower, so too can we transform through the process of shadow work. The shadows within us are not to be feared, but rather they are hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. When we start to embrace these shadows, we embark on a journey of profound self-discovery and personal growth. One of the most significant benefits of shadow work is the development of a heightened sense of self-awareness. By acknowledging and exploring our shadows, we start to understand our innermost thoughts, feelings, and motivations more clearly. This self-awareness is like a beacon of light in the darkness, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of who we truly are. In addition to self-awareness, shadow work fosters a sense of self-acceptance. It is a process of acknowledging our flaws and weaknesses, but instead of rejecting them, we learn to accept them as integral parts of our identity. This acceptance is not a resignation, but rather an act of empowerment. It allows us to take control of our lives and to make conscious decisions that align with our true selves. Furthermore, shadow work can lead to a deeper understanding of others. When we become more aware of our own shadows, we become more empathetic towards the shadows of others. We start to see that everyone carries their own shadows, each with its own unique shape and form. This realization can foster a sense of shared humanity, encouraging us to treat others with kindness, patience, and understanding. So as we embrace our shadows, we find ourselves growing in ways we may never have imagined. We begin to see the world and ourselves in a new light, a light that shines brighter because it has been cast upon the darkness within. In the words of Jung, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious.